trying to help the island explore that. And of course, we're having a number of students from here that'll be at our university next fall. I think there's 19 that are scheduled to be there right now. We look forward to the continued cooperation between the university in St. Kitts and Nevis and all the great work that's going on down here. Thank you.
Honorable Samal Duggins, Minister of Sports, Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources, Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives and the Creative Economy, Ms. Valencia Saida, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Sports, Mr. Miguel Fleming, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources, Ms. Delreen Taylor, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives and Now the Creative Economy, Ms. Leah Craig Chatterton, Director for the Ministry of Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives and the Creative Economy, Ms. Robertine Webb, Director of Creative Economy, Mr. Pierre Leibard, Director of Culture, Mrs. Erla Clark Allen, Registrar of Cooperatives, Ms. Shannon Hawley, Chair of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, Ms. Yoshana Jeffers, Acting Director of the Department of Agriculture, Mr. Randall Thompson, Director of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Mrs. Jihan Williams-Knight, Chair of the Medicinal Cannabis Board of Directors, Mr. Jeffrey Hazel, Director of Sports. Other dignitaries and senior government officials, distinguished guests, members of the media, colleagues, and friends, good morning. Good morning. As we begin the Minister's first quarter press conference with his permanent secretaries and directors, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Please remain standing as I invite Pastor Hepburn to open us in prayer.
Father, we honor you this morning. We recognize that you are creator and ruler of the universe and has all things in the palm of your hands. This morning, I come to you and ask for your divine presence to penetrate this room as Minister Duggins and his team assemble for this press conference. Lord, I ask for your wisdom as he begins his press conference. I acknowledge that your wisdom and insight are needed in these days. We welcome your presence. Guide him today, Holy Father, in his plans, discussions, and decisions, helping him to seek what is best for all involved and the nation. I trust your perfect wisdom and ask that you direct him through this press conference as he seeks to do your will. James 1:5 says, if anyone lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. I declare this promise on Mr. Duggins and his team as he share what's on his mind and trust in your provision. I thank you always. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Be seated. All right. I am Azaria Vanterpool, and I have the honor of serving as the chairperson for this morning's proceedings. It is my pleasure to welcome you again to our first quarter press conference for 2025, held under the theme, Vision, Action, Results. This theme is not just a slogan, it is a commitment. Vision is where it all begins. It is about setting bold, transformative goals for our nation. But vision alone is not enough. It must be backed by strategic action and decisive actions, the kind of leadership that moves beyond words and into meaningful progress. And when vision meets action, we see real, tangible results. Results that improve lives, strengthen communities, and propel our country forward. This quarterly press conference is part of our dedication to transparency and accountability. Today, we'll take a slightly different approach. Rather than live presentations, we will share pre-recorded highlight reels from each department, capturing their progress, initiatives, and successes over the past 3 months. This approach ensures a clear and comprehensive update on the work being done across our ministries. At the heart of all this progress is visionary leadership. Leadership that sees beyond the present and dares to shape the future. Leadership that takes decisive action, ensuring that ideas are not just discussed, but executed with precision. Leadership that delivers results, proving that progress is measured not by promises, but by impact. And so, with a vibrant and dynamic team, you could see at the head table here, this minister and his ministries have not just been talking, they have been working. They have been implementing policies, driving initiatives, and making the kind of progress that in just 1 quarter surpasses what some achieve in an entire term. On that note, it is my honor to welcome the Honorable Samal Duggins, Minister of Sports, Agriculture, Fisheries, and Marine Resources, Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives, and the Creative Economy, to give his opening remarks. Let's welcome him.
Let's talk more action. Thank you, Madam Chair, and allow me to say how honored I am to be standing here before you. But first of all, I want to bid each and every one of you here pleasant morning. Good morning. And I said good morning not only to the members here at the head table who have been helping to power progress, nor the media alone that are in the room to get answers to public concerns or to get updated on the progress that we are making. But I also say good morning to those listening via the media from around our nation and further afield. And I know that there are persons listening even as far as Nigeria as we stand here today. But today, I come before you at the dawn of a new quarter, having reviewed our first few months of the year and looking at the work that we are doing. And I'm humbled and proud to share the undeniable truth that progress is not just possible, it is in fact happening. Real, measurable, transformative progress. This is what is unfolding before our eyes here in St. Kitts and Nevis. This, what you're seeing here, is a story of vision, action, and results. Over the past few months, which represents the first quarter of 2025, we have powered forward with clear purpose, guided by strategic vision and a deep commitment to our people. The path has not always been smooth. We have faced challenges, globally, regionally, and locally. But through deliberate and focused action, we have begun to write a new chapter, a chapter of national development. And let us be clear, the sectors we celebrate today, agriculture, entrepreneurship, culture, the creative economy, fisheries, sports, and small business and cooperatives, were once overlooked areas of our nation, underfunded areas, and dismissed by former administration. What they neglected, we are now rebuilding, brick by brick, seed by seed, dream by dream. Today, we are here to share just what we have done in just the first few months of this year. In agriculture, we are not just farming the land, we are cultivating a future. With the signing of a historic memorandum of understanding, one with the Green Economic Zone of Nigeria, we are transforming trade itself. The upcoming AgroHub Warehouse and Logistics Center will position our federation as a leader in agricultural exports across the Caribbean, making St. Kitts and Nevis, as I have said from my first go, the food mecca of the Eastern Caribbean. And we are not stopping there. In partnership with the FAO, we launched a 12-week training in drone mapping and geospatial analysis, bringing 21st century innovation directly into the hands of our farmers. This is not just progress, ladies and gentlemen. It is a leap forward into smart agriculture, food security, and regional leadership. In the creative economy, we have expanded our horizons. We forged a landmark cultural partnership with the Warri Kingdom of Nigeria, designed to promote creative excellence, youth empowerment, and economic growth. St. Kitts and Nevis is not just participating in creative movements, ladies and gentlemen. We are helping to shape it regionally and globally. And let us not forget Sugar Mass 53, a spectacular celebration of culture and unity that generated over 21 million in economic activity. That is real money. That is real impact and real livelihoods supported across tourism, food and beverage, transportation, retail, and many other areas. In entrepreneurship, we invested directly in our people, especially our women. 11 female business owners received access to high-growth entrepreneurship roadmap, coaching and co-working support to scale their businesses. This, ladies and gentlemen, is empowerment in action. This is what happens when a government believes in its people. This is what happens when vision is matched with execution. Coming off a record-breaking year of 2024, where our official folk recorded a whopping $19.6 million, we are also reimagining fisheries, strengthening seafood safety, and all the standards surrounding that. Through the HACCP training, deepening regional partnerships with the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, and investing in fish aggregating devices to ensure that our fishers can sustain both their families and sustain our communities, as well as preserve our marine ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, our sports infrastructure is on the rise. With a complete overhaul of the Kim Collins Stadium, along with dynamic school championships breathing new life into our youth athletics, we see St. Kitts moving onward, upward, and forward. We are reigniting national pride in cricket, not only through our school's program, but through leagues like the Big Six tournament, and also Cool and Smooth, showcasing our local talent and reigniting that local passion. And in football, our very own Kai Trotman, our national goalkeeper, has recently earned a full scholarship to Bethany College in the USA, which is a powerful example of how local programs like the Security Forces Summer Camp has been opening global doors for our youth in St. Kitts and Nevis. From the Jinxing Up Classic to international scholarships, our athletes are no longer just dreaming, they are achieving. This is vision in motion, action with purpose, and results we can all be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, progress indeed takes time. It takes patience. It takes bold decisions, and yes, sometimes it means taking risks. The journey will not always be perfect. We will face resistance, and there will be moments of doubt. But make no mistake, this government is committed to the long haul, is committed to every citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. We are laying foundations not just for now, but for a resilient, sustainable future. While others merely talked, we got to work. While others made excuses, we made plans. And while others pointed fingers, we planted seeds. Our strategy is clear. Empower our people, diversify our economy, and protect our country from global shocks by embedding sustainability at the heart of every initiative. We do this not for the headlines, but for heritage. Not for politics, but for our people. So I ask you, stay the course, ladies and gentlemen. Support the work, question us when necessary, but never doubt that this is your government working for you, fighting for you, and dreaming big on your behalf. Vision, action, results. That's the mantra, that's the mission, and that's the movement we are building together. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, and may progress continue to bless the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. But before I leave today, I have a message that I wish to share with you on behalf of His Majesty, Ogami Atuatsi III, Ulu of the Wari Kingdom. On my trip to Nigeria recently, I met with the leaders of the kingdom, and we signed an MOU for cultural exchange. And the king himself sent a personal message for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, His Majesty the King.
Your Excellencies, brothers and sisters across the Atlantic. Today, we mark more than a moment. We mark momentum. The signing of this memorandum of understanding between the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Wari Kingdom is not merely diplomatic, it is symbolic. It is the reawakening of ancient ties that never died, only slept. It is the echo of the ancestors finally finding language in the present. It is history meeting design. As the Oluwa Wari, I do not take this lightly. We're not here only to exchange pleasantries. We are here to build a bridge, a living, breathing bridge between Africa and the Caribbean. A bridge not built with cement, but with culture, with trust, shared vision. The creative economy, though wielding soft power, is not a soft idea. It is a hard driver of future prosperity. Our young people are not waiting for handouts. They are inventing futures. They are composing symphonies, filming revolutions, designing new codes of dignity. And it is our time to own the brilliance we create. This partnership is an invitation to collaborate, to co-create, and to catalyze. Warri is ready. Africa is awake. And in this awakening, we see not just trade, but trust. Not just exports, but expression. I am very expectant of the possibilities the agreement between Warri and St. Kitts holds. And I look forward to the unfolding of shared vision in the days to come. This is the beginning of something deeper than a document. Let it be the first note in a symphony that stretches from the Gulf of Guinea to the Caribbean Sea. Together, let us elevate Africa and those of African descent, and by doing so, redeem the dignity and recalibrating the mindset of the Black race. Thank you.
Leadership that delivers real results, proving that progress is measured not by promises, but by impact. Thank you, Minister, for those insightful remarks and for reaffirming the commitment to vision, action, results. And that commitment continues to manifest in tangible ways, including the MOU just announced. Another example of forward-thinking leadership that expand opportunities, strengthen industries, and drive national development. Real progress that will benefit our people. Thanks. As we transition into our first quarter progress reports, today's presentations will highlight exactly how vision has translated into action and how action is delivering results. So let's turn our attention to these updates. First up is the Ministry of Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives, and the Creative Economy. This powerhouse ministry plays a vital role in driving economic growth, fostering innovation, and empowering entrepreneurs and creatives.
What does it really take to build a thriving creative industry? More opportunities? Bigger platforms? Stronger connections? How about all of the above? Here's how we are shaping the future of the creative economy. Providing platforms for creatives is essential for fostering artistic growth and industry recognition. Recently, we supported 2 major events that highlighted local talent and encouraged artistic collaboration. Red Wine Digital Live in Concert wasn't just an unforgettable evening of music. It was an opportunity to showcase Digital's incredible talent while also preparing local artists for the global stage. By supporting artists like Digital, we are taking the necessary steps to ensure that our talent is ready for export, expanding their reach beyond our shores. Zoo and Friends demonstrated the importance of creative collaboration by bringing together artists, This event encouraged networking, artistic exchange, and a cultural appreciation. Looking ahead, we are excited about CariFesta 2025, one of the Caribbean's premier cultural festivals. This event will showcase the richness of our local and regional talent on an international platform. It represents a major opportunity to celebrate our heritage, build global connections, and ensure that our creative community is well represented on the world stage. Finally, we are developing the Creative Power Arts Convention, an event set to be larger and more impactful than ever before. This convention aims to provide our creatives with the support, resources, and exposure they need to advance their careers and strive in their respective fields. These initiatives are a testament to our commitment to nurturing a vibrant creative community. Together, we are taking action to execute our vision, resulting in a stronger, more innovative creative industry.
Hold on tight, everybody just moving together like a storm. United we could conquer it all. Divided then you know we go far.
In September 2022, the Honourable Minister Samal Duggins gave a difficult but achievable mandate to the National Carnival Committee. His vision was to grow St. Kitts and Nevis Carnival from a mainly local event to a force to be reckoned with. This vision has now become a reality through action and delivered results. In 2024, we staged one of the most successful and largest carnivals in the 53-year history of this national event. Based on a recently concluded economic impact assessment, Sugar Mass 53 contributed over $21 million to the local economy. It attracted thousands of regional and international visitors, and we saw a significant increase in participation of residents across all events. We saw the largest crowds at our Junior Calypso competition, the largest juve with over 6,000 participants, over 3,000 mass revelers, and the highest number of mass-scale successful private events. We also saw the highest arrivals at the RLB International Airport, and between 30 to 40% of active carnival attendees were visitors. Sugar Mass 53 had a significant and lasting impact on specific sectors such as hospitality, transportation, food and beverage, retail, banking, and public administration. The St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, under the direction and leadership of Minister Duggins, has already commenced the planning and marketing for Sugar Mass 54. We have opened registration for various national carnival events, such as the prestigious Miss St. Kitts Nevis Queen Pageant, where we have increased the cash prize to $25,000. We have opened our slogan competition to the general public to participate, commenced meetings with various key stakeholders, and will be releasing our event calendar to the press and the general public in early June 2025, 6 months prior to the official start of Sugar Mass. We encourage you to follow SKN Carnival on social media and our website, stkittsneviscarnival.com, for more exciting updates coming your way, and we look forward to even more participation from you for Sugar Mass 54.
At Cultural Heritage, we began our year with a bang. It was vision, action, results. When some of the young people who participated in last year's ICH Intangible Cultural Heritage Knowledge Transfer Camp took part in Sugar Mass 53. We had young mummies, makajumbis, clowns, and string band instrument players. It was spectacular.
I think it's a very, very positive move with the cultural heritage ICH camp to develop more camps and more training for youngsters, because it is going and it's bringing back a lot of old traditional art form like clown masquerade and other stuff, and mainly the mummies, but that is really a really dying and surviving culture. Thank you very much for keep working with me. I'll keep working with your cultural heritage.
January also saw the debut of ICH masterclasses designed as intensive short courses to teach adults a specific skill pertaining to our cultural heritage. From January 27th to 31st, 9 adults repaired a stonework wall during the stone masonry masterclass that was held at the Oasis Bar and Grill at Wingfield Manor, Old Road, under the tutelage of stone masonry master Roosevelt Devon. Participants were later treated to a certificate presentation ceremony on February 27th. Scan our barcode and send us your suggestions on what our future intensive adult courses can be about. Final edits are being made to the draft ICH policy. Following a year of consultations with traditional knowledge bearers and other key stakeholders, the ICH policy will soon be presented to Cabinet for its approval before being adopted. We village that the Deep Bay edition took place Thursday, March 13th at the Deep Bay Lawn, designed to uplift each individual community. We village that showcases that specific village's history and the individuals who have contributed to its development. At Deep Bay, awards were presented to Rilis Vasquez for education, Glenda Caro Cooper for entrepreneurship in food service, and Horace Babs Bratcher for entrepreneurship in bus driving. Keith Thomas was awarded for community spirit, while Serenity Webster was awarded for dancing and knitting, and Amasaiah Maccabee for drumming. And at Cultural Heritage, you're going to have to wait until our next progress report. We are culturally yours in Cultural Heritage.
The Small Business Development Center is strengthening our entrepreneurial landscape with key initiatives designed to drive sustainable growth and financial resilience. In February, SBDC teamed up with the UN Country Office to introduce several entrepreneurs to the UN Global Compact. Executive Director of the UN Global Compact Network in the Caribbean, Ms. Kiana Bowen, highlighted how responsible business practices open doors to global exposure, networking, and exclusive UN event opportunities. Entrepreneurs left feeling inspired and ready to embrace sustainable business. In March, entrepreneurs from spa owners to tech innovators gained hands-on financial management training at our Financial Implementation Workshop. Facilitator Ms. Travisa Adams demonstrated practical bookkeeping using the Wave app, helping participants refine their financial tracking. The session was interactive, insightful, and highly rated by attendees.
That just came out of the Financial Implementation Workshop, and I came here wondering, where do I start for my bookkeeping practices that I'm hoping to professionalize in the near future, and I left filled with information and ready to start my bookkeeping practices.
Also in March, we visited Oro for Business Beyond Town, an initiative that brought hands-on support to rural entrepreneurs. We met with business owners, learned about their challenges, and connected them to the resources they needed to grow. This initiative was about access, ensuring every entrepreneur, no matter where they are, has the tools and support for success. At SBDC, we turn our vision into action and action into lasting results. So stay tuned as we continue to empower small businesses across the Federation.
Progress isn't just about plans. It's about bold steps, strategic action, and real results. And that's exactly what the Department of Entrepreneurship delivered in Q1 of 2025. One of our biggest moves partnering with local creatives and regional platforms like Pavilion Plus and Vibes Out of Trinidad to develop original content for our TV channel. This isn't just production. It's about creating opportunities and amplifying entrepreneurial voices across the region. Another game changer, the premiere of Revive to Thrive MSME Makeovers. More than just a show, this initiative provided growing businesses with expert consultants, hands-on coaching, and direct funding for real transformative makeovers.
Revive to Thrive, transforming potential into prosperity.
Thank you so much. 25 and beyond, small business, entrepreneurship, creativity, 5-star Pino, you know.
And because success thrives on support, we proudly sponsored 11 female entrepreneurs to join the High Growth Entrepreneurship Roadmap Coaching and Co-working Program led by Dr. Tamu Brown, founder of Innovative Education and Training and Coaching by Tamu.
The concept of the Her Coaching and Co-working Program is based on my High Growth Entrepreneur Roadmap. So this is an alternative business model, but after years of working in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, I found that the traditional business model approach does not speak to growth orientation, and particularly for female entrepreneurs.
Vision, action, results. Our entrepreneurs are making it happen, and we're here to push them even further. The journey continues.
Exciting things are happening at the Department of Cooperatives. We continue with the main focuses of building capacity, strengthening connections, and empowering the next generation of cooperative leaders. We kicked off the year with Meet the PS, a forum where cooperatives shared successes, expressed challenges, and discussed solutions. The result? Formation of a brand new technical committee to boost collaboration and growth. And guess what? We're going digital. We've launched a Facebook page with Instagram and TikTok soon to follow. Get ready to delve into the world of cooperatives. Registration of a new cooperative society is on the way, and we're guiding them through the final stages. Meanwhile, our training series is powering up cooperative leaders and members with skills in governance, finance, and teamwork. From selling fresh produce at St. Croix Agricultural Fair to the Gideon Force Organic Market filled with music, crafts, and good vibes, our cooperatives are connecting communities and boosting business. We've also facilitated duty-free concessions for the Capistare Fishermen's Cooperative and Beekeepers Cooperative, boosting productivity and expansion. Our primary school quiz winners got their hands dirty, literally. They picked fresh fruits, explored organic farming, and learned why cooperatives matter, sowing seeds for the future. With continued investments in training, education, and engagement, we're building a future of strong governance, economic growth, and sustainable success. With a shared vision and strategic actions, we are achieving real results. Follow us as we unravel cooperatives.
The ministry has been working. Next up, we have the Ministry of Sports. Sports are a pillar of national development, fostering discipline, togetherness, and opportunities for youth and athletes. Here's a look at the progress made by the Department of Sports over the last quarter.
Educate, develop, win. These are the guiding principles driving our commitment to transforming the sporting landscape in St. Kitts. As we close out the first quarter of the year, the Department of Sports is proud to showcase the major initiatives and events that are shaping the future of athletics in our nation, anchored by the three powerful words, vision, action, results. We began the year with a renewed commitment to grassroots athletics through zonal championships, reaching the communities across the island, from East Zone 2 to the Development Bank-sponsored West Zone, the Bank of Nevis Bastia Zone, the Development Bank East Zone 1, and culminating in the Giant Mall Champs of Champs. We've created a platform where young athletes shine. We also proudly launched the Body Shop-sponsored Private Primary School Championships, ensuring that no child is left behind in our push to build an inclusive and accessible sporting nation. The energy didn't stop there. The Jinxing Up Classic, held at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, brought excitement, fierce competition, and an inspiration to the chap, showcasing emerging talents and national pride. In our continued efforts to support local cricket, the Department of Sports proudly sponsored the Big Six T20 tournament, providing a stage for players to develop their skills, compete at a high level, and engage in the community in the beloved sports. Transforming sports infrastructure has also been a top priority. Major renovations and resurfacing at the Kim Collins Athletic Stadium are already underway, laying the foundation for safer, world-class competition spaces for athletes, both now and in the future. Every meet, every tournament, and every upgrade contribute to our broader vision. And with action as our constant, the results speak for themselves. A stronger, faster, and more unified sporting community. Vision, action, results. This is how we move sports forward in St. Kitts.
And last but by no means least, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources. Agriculture and marine resources are essential to our national food security, sustainability, and economic resilience. This ministry continues to implement forward-thinking initiatives to strengthen these sectors. We now highlight the work being done in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Agriculture in St. Kitts is thriving, with bold steps being taken to enhance the sector and empower food producers. Let's take a look at the latest developments. Minister of Agriculture Honorable Samal Duggins kicked off the year with a series of farm visits across the island, reinforcing the government's commitment to working alongside farmers, understanding their challenges, and shaping policies to achieve food security. To boost local meat production, several farmers received boer goats from the Department of Agriculture. This initiative not only supports farmers by improving livestock quality, but also enhances the nation's food sustainability. Farmers shared their excitement and the positive impact this assistance will have on their livelihoods.
First, when I heard about the boer breed, they tell me it is a heavy meat thing. I had to tell my husband, I would like to get some of that, you know. But these I got recently, I am going to make sure they are well taken care of. Thanks to the Agriculture Department for picking us to get the boer breed.
Exciting news for spice lovers. A McClinney Tabasco field agent visited St. Kitts to evaluate the progress of the Tabasco Pepper Project. Impressed by the operations and the government's push to diversify agriculture, he highlighted the bright future for Tabasco pepper farming on the island.
It looks like you'll have really good soil here. Looks like you'll have drip tape capabilities, which goes a long way with Tabasco. Overall, I mean, the peppers are looking healthy for the size of y'all's plants. I think y'all are getting a good yield.
Collaboration is key to growth. St. Kitts recently welcomed a delegation from Southern University, reinforcing the government's commitment to forward strategic partnerships aimed at advancing agricultural education and training. Guided tours of local farms offered first-hand insights into the island's agricultural practices, opening doors to new opportunities for skill development innovation.
In some research efforts that we started back in the MOU that was signed between Southern University System and the St. Kitts government. And I will say that I'm so pleased to see the strides that have been made since the initiation and the signing of that MOU. I'm looking for what's to come. I've seen great things thus far, and I know that with that we will do great work together. I'm very pleased with this partnership.
And speaking of innovation, the Department of Agriculture in St. Kitts, in partnership with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, is taking agriculture to new heights. Under the Regional E-Agriculture Project, an intensive 12-week training program is currently on the way, focusing on drone mapping and geospatial analysis tools. This initiative is set to empower our farmers and agricultural professionals with cutting-edge digital solutions to enhance productivity and sustainability. With technology at the forefront, we are transforming the agriculture sector in St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, speaking of transformative, Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Samal Duggins, signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with the Green Economic Zone, or GEZ, Special Management Company based in Abuja, Nigeria, on Friday, March 28th. The MOU sets the foundation for the establishment of a state-of-the-art agro-hub warehouse and logistics center in St. Kitts. This strategic partnership follows a successful engagement of the Afro-Caribbean Investment Summit, where both parties explored opportunities to deepen trade and economic cooperation between Africa and the wider Caribbean. Now, it's only been the first quarter of the year, but St. Kitts is cultivating a sustainable future of agricultural resilience and success through these remarkable initiatives that reflect a powerful theme: vision, action, results.
From strengthening our fisheries to protecting endangered sea turtles, the Department of Marine Resources is making significant progress in marine conservation. Let's dive into some of our first quarter highlights. With a shared vision for excellence, we've partnered with the Department of Industry and Commerce to host a food safety and quality assurance seminar. This seminar was an important step in the department's journey toward Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points (HACCP) certification. Officials from the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism (CRFM) visited our federation to advance discussions on coastal resilience and sustainable fisheries. They joined field visits with data collectors, engaged with stakeholders, and offered valuable feedback. Our department hosted a series of fisher stakeholder meetings across multiple communities in St. Kitts and Nevis. These sessions focused on raising awareness and collecting feedback about the Draft Fisheries, Aquaculture and Marine Resources Act (FAMRA) regulations. Our extension unit deployed 2 additional fish aggregating devices, FADs, enhancing sustainable fishing and supporting marine conservation. This initiative boosts local catches while reducing pressure on fragile ecosystems like coral reefs and sea grass beds. In our ongoing efforts to protect sea turtles and their habitats, several members of our staff participated in the wider Caribbean Sea Turtle Conservation Network's WIDECAST annual general meeting workshops. One key session focused on combating the illegal trade of sea turtle products, teaching participants how to identify products made from sea turtle shells. As we continue our work, these efforts are just the beginning. With vision, action, and results, we are driving meaningful change. Stay tuned for more updates as we keep pushing forward.
The Cannabis Act mandates that the Medicinal Cannabis Authority is responsible for implementing and regulating a system that facilitates adult patients with specific medical conditions to obtain prescriptions from authorized doctors that would allow them to access and treat their conditions with medicinal cannabis and medicinal cannabis products from authorized dispensaries and lounges. It is one thing to have a law on paper, but since July 2024, the Board of Directors has been working assiduously to bring the legislation to life. We have been working behind the scenes to employ staff, to set up the authority as a statutory body as envisioned by the law, and to engage different groups and agencies to ensure that all the components are in place to begin receiving applications for licenses to facilitate the production and supply of safe, medicinal-grade cannabis and cannabis products for adults. So as we move forward and closer to that goal, in April, look out for the launch of the Medicinal Cannabis Authority on Princess Street on April 25th, and several media and public engagements to raise awareness on the licensing application process and requirements for medicinal cannabis. The Medicinal Cannabis Authority will also be supporting efforts of the Attorney General's Office to bring greater clarity on the laws surrounding cannabis generally. So stay tuned for more updates as we strive to make a formalized medicinal cannabis industry a reality in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Now, I want to adopt a very popular slang with a slight adjustment. Things are going well. Things are going well under the leadership of the Honorable Samal Duggins. Now, I know that was a lot to digest, and so I'll give you just a brief moment to digest the information as we move into your favorite part, the question and answer segment. For this segment, all questions will be directed to the minister, who will then delegate accordingly. When asking your questions, please state your name and the name of the media house you represent. You can ask 2 questions at a time to allow for smooth flow of the proceedings and to give the minister and his team adequate time to respond. We will alternate between the media houses in-house and those attending virtually. I now open the floor for questions.
Good morning. Andre Huey, SK Newsline and TVC Channel 40. Minister, the updates are very in-depth, so a lot of work seems to have been happening over the past few months. Just 2 questions at least for starters, one on agriculture, one on sports. On agriculture, the MOU that was signed, could you give us some more information in terms of what you can share in terms of how this MOU will work and the benefits for St. Kitts and Nevis from a financial, economical standpoint as well? And whether or not the, I don't know if there's going to any participation from the local agriculture industry here in that MOU. On the issue of sports, the Kim Collins Stadium, I know a lot of work has been done up there. I've actually visited there as well to see what's been happening. However, I think a lot of people have questions about why is it that it was not ready in time for inter-school this year? And if it was not going to be ready in time for inter-school, what provisions could have been made to facilitate the 2 marquee events that are normally held at that stadium each year? I know you said in the last press conference that the weather played a part, but when we look at the rainfall statistics, there has been a decline in rainfall activity over the last couple of years. So I'm not sure if that was a real reason for the delay. So if you could just share what were some of the factors that led to the delays and why provisions were not made for an alternative.
Excellent, and thank you for your questions. Now, as far as it relates to your initial question with the MOU that we signed with with our counterparts in Nigeria, I wish to say that that MOU really embodies trade between both regions. What we endeavor to do through this MOU is connect or reconnect what has been a historical route of trade. We have learned about it as part of our existence here in the Caribbean region. And we learned about it through the idea of the, as I call it, the Great Triangle. We are now reimagining that. And we have dubbed it the transatlantic bridge, coming off of the idea of the transatlantic trade. And that transatlantic bridge will facilitate trade with the continent of Africa into the Western Hemisphere. St. Kitts being at the center of that trade, as the hub of that trade in the Western Hemisphere. Part of that will mean developing logistics sites on the island that could facilitate trade. And it's not just one-way trade. We're talking about trade to and from across the Atlantic. Now, that trade route has been one of the more economically feasible trade routes in history. Remember what it has done for the continent of Europe. We are saying, let that be done for the continent of Africa and the Caribbean region as a whole. And so within that, what we are doing is looking at food security as a premise to start with. And we will be trading products from Africa into the Caribbean and products from the Caribbean into Africa. And it could not be at a more opportune time. Most of us woke up to news just this morning about tariffs being placed on the region through America. The sad part is we have a huge trade deficit with America, where most of what we import comes through America. And now we are seeing we are being punished for even that. This is the right time for One Africa. This is the right time to reconnect with who we are and where we are from. And I think this is a historic moment.
Sorry, just as a follow-up. As you talk about the trade, which is important for us to establish that link, but what are what mechanisms are we using for that? Because we do know that freight, even across the Caribbean, is expensive and challenging. So what mechanisms are we using for even a longer distance to facilitate that trade?
Yes. You see, the idea of freight, it's not just that it is expensive, it's the established routes. What we are doing is connecting direct trade routes from Africa to St. Kitts direct to Africa. And not just via sea, which is one of the main areas that we are looking at, but we are looking at air freight as well. And so it is a holistic development that is happening. The economic zone, it's almost like a sovereign within Nigeria. And so they are governed by their own tax and trade laws. And we are now able to conduct business with them and them with us. I hope that sufficiently answers that. The next question was regarding the Kim Collins Stadium. And I will give a bit of update on that, but I will also ask the folks at the department to give further details into that. But from the idea of getting that ready, we have been working assiduously on that for months. Now, at the end of it, we chose, and we are talking on two fronts, because we have been working on the infrastructure, the building facilities. We have also been working at the track itself. Now, that track was laid in 2008, correct? The track was laid in 2008. And at that time, we had used Mondo. And since then, having that track there, it was only when we took that track out to replace it, we recognized the true damage that was done. The entire drainage under that track was completely blocked. And so there was waterlog that was eroding the track from beneath. That we only saw when we got in to the foundation. We had to go and repair the entire drainage. And then, in repairing the drainage, we also recognized that quality has to be the top priority. And so the time it took to lay every layer was very detailed. Then comes January, and you talked about the reduced rainfall, statistically, I wish, and I should not say that to the Minister of Agriculture, but the challenge is this year has not been anywhere close to the statistics of last year or the year before. Let us look at it in real context and what rainfall is. I'm not just talking about all the rainfall. We are talking about a day like today, where we had early morning rainfall. Now that hampers remember a lot of this is adhesive. Using adhesive in water is a problem anywhere around. And so when rain falls on that, it hampers them almost for a whole day, even at this layer. But the layers before, it hampered them for 3 days. Because once the asphalt got wet, the moisture is retained in the asphalt, and you can't apply the adhesive on the wet asphalt. So you have to allow that to dry. Imagine that happening 3 times. That's 9 days. Imagine that happening 10 times. That's 30 days. And you see how the effect is compounded. And so from January right out of Carnival, we had a whole series of rainy days, some time lost. Got back to work. Another series in the middle of February, some time lost. And so while we are still working to get it done, and while I know that there are dates on the table for both meets to still occur and to still happen at the facility, there has been some delays. But the delays were unavoidable. The team is working every day, and we are ensuring that we get a quality track done. But what must be said as well is that had this been done when it was supposed to be done, we will not be here today. That must be said. Because that damage did not happen yesterday. It did not happen last year. Had it been done when it was supposed to be done, we had a few years' well to fix it. Some nearly 7. Some had. Nothing was done. And here we are, approaching the final leg of finishing it in just 2.5 years. I'll pass it over to the Department of Sports to elaborate more.
Good morning. The Minister would have given a very comprehensive explanation, but I don't want it to seem like we're making excuses, because we are not. Apart from the weather being a factor, there were other factors. For example, certain materials that are a requirement for the perfect lane of the track were not available locally. So we had to source overseas, and that was some challenge. So that created a little setback. The minister talked about the drainage, but he did not talk about the sub-base. That was totally unusable. Remember, the sub-base that was there for a Mondo track. Now, this track is of a different technology, so it would need a different type of sub-base. We had a few change orders because, as the minister would have alluded to, although over the years some minor upgrades would have been done, to me a lot of them were like patches. So when we, for example, I'm going to give you a good example. On the pavilion itself, if you realize, it's a whole new roofing. When we took down the old, the rusted, the rotted, the old roof, all the wires just fell down. We did not know that, like, the wires, there was no, better what the technical would be. Like, conduits. Like, yeah, I mean, an electrician may know. There was none. So we had to get all of that fixed before. Lots of situations that we did not expect there, because we had a time frame. We thought that by the end of the year everything would have been finished, because on the surface it looked like you only needed to put on some paint here, take out some chairs there and put them in. But then when you took them out, for example, the chairs, we have new chairs. We took out the old chairs, between, what do you call it there? Between the seats was like this space. It was like, so when rain came, the whole downstairs would have been flooded. So that now we had to correct all of that. As the minister said, our aim is to have a facility that is of standard, a facility that next year we don't have to come back and do this. Regrettably, the delay has caused some inconveniences, but I want us to look at the bigger picture and not focus on what the inconveniences are. The Department of Sports, we are in constant dialogue with the SGN Athletics and the schools. You talk about alternative arrangements, but in talking with the schools and the Athletic Association, they all want to have their meets at the stadium. And that is going to happen. As the minister said, the contractors, we at the ministry, we at the department, everybody understands the urgency, so everybody is trying to work as fast as they can. But what we are not going to allow, and we are not going to compromise, is the integrity of the work and the quality of the work, just to say, let's finish up the track because we want to have the meet. That is not our focus. It's to make sure that everything is done to precision, and the track, the special technology that is involved in laying the type of track that we invested in, that our investment does not fall flat. I don't know if that would have answered your question.
Thank you, PS. I trust that sufficiently answered your questions.
And I can't speak for the SGN Athletics, nor the Ministry of Education. The dates for the scholastic meets, they are set between the Ministry of Education and the SGN Athletics. So I would not want to sit here and expound on anything that should be directed to the Ministry of Education, not to the SGN Athletics. I just want to take this down to here to congratulate the SGN Athletics. Last night I saw the release of the 22-member Carifta team, and I want to congratulate all the athletes and wish them all of the best.
So for clarity, just for clarity, so the alternative then would have been rested on where SGN Athletics would have wanted to host the events, not on the sports department. Okay.
All right.
Good morning to all. Ken Fuentes from ZIZ News. I know you haven't heard of a venue yet for St. Kitts Music Festival. Any updates on that?
Oh yes, that's not something that falls within the remit of my ministry. This St. Kitts Music Festival falls within the remit of tourism, and I believe they will be more suited to address those concerns. But I know we are having a wonderful St. Kitts Music Festival this year, and we look forward to it. But those questions should be directed to the Ministry of Tourism, because I don't have, yes, thank you.
Okay, me again. As it relates, I'll go back to the facility. Obviously, the government has spent a lot of money to get Kim Collins Stadium, to the level it should be. What are the plans to ensure that the government at least break even on its return of investment? We've seen a lot of investment in sporting facilities, but then when it comes to ensuring that, apart from just the amateur sports, are there plans to sort of monetize the venue in terms of attracting international events, especially considering that you're laying an international standard track at that venue? On agriculture, quickly, the Tabasco arrangement. How many farmers are involved in that, local farmers? Because we're hearing some farmers saying that they have no idea what's taking place there. The ministry is not interfacing with them. Is there a process in how you choose the farmers that are going to be involved in that project, and how many of them are going to be involved? And is there a plan to sort of inform the stakeholders, the local stakeholders in agriculture, about that particular project and how it will benefit them?
Yes, again, thank you for your questions. Starting off with the initial question, and that was regarding the This monetizing sporting facilities, yes. If you've recognized over the last few years, and I'm going to go outside of athletics just for a second to draw the bigger picture. In cricket, we've had cricket tournaments and leagues here almost every month for the last few years. The whole objective there has been sports tourism and monetizing our venues. In football, we've seen a number of international games hosted here, regional and international games hosted here. Again, the objective, monetizing our venues. Similarly, we've seen volleyball host a number of regional and international tournaments here over the last few years. Again, sports tourism at the forefront. And last year, we saw the same with netball. The issue we've had is that when we don't have a facility that meets standard, when we meet facilities like basketball and track and field in the conditions that we met them, it is our duty and our job to get them into condition so that we can align them with the other facilities to ensure that we can meet the same agenda of sports tourism and monetizing those facilities. So the answer is yes, that is the plan. And that is why we are working so hard to get these facilities up to standard so they could join the ranks of the other sporting endeavors with the same initiative. So thank you on that question. And your second question regarding Tabasco. Now, our deal with Tabasco, and let me start on Tabasco's end. We have to remember that the Tabasco brand has a very stringent trademark copyright framework. Even the very peppers that are used to produce Tabasco peppers are classified peppers under their own copyright framework. And so our responsibility is to be very careful with how those peppers are distributed. So the short answer is yes, there will be some communication with how farmers participate, but it has to be within the framework of protecting ourselves from breaching the Tabasco trademark framework. What I could tell you is that so far we are moving along quite well, and we are clearing some lands because they would be grown under a certain controlled circumstance, again, for protection. And things are, right now the lands are being cleared, and we do hope to be planting the first 100 acres of peppers this year, 2025.
Okay, I guess it's my turn again. Afterwards? Okay. Sporting facilities, again, not just Kim Collins. I know you have an agenda to repair and renovate a number of the venues, but in terms of a timetable, because you talk about cricket, a lot of cricket tournaments are being held at Warner Park. In fact, I think there's another one coming next month at Cool and Smooth, and some other regional tournaments.
That's right, yes.
So what plans are there to ensure that these venues are upgraded and kept up to par? The football stadium in particular, there are some real urgent needs at the football stadium. So in terms of a timetable, how soon can we expect to see some work happening at Warner Park? Also the basketball, talk about Basketball City, I know their season is in limbo because of the situation at Basketball City. So what plans are there to have these facilities in terms of a timetable, fixed and repaired and upgraded? And on to agriculture once again. The Prime Minister at his roundtable yesterday or the day before spoke about a farm that is going to be developed here under the government's management, plans to start a national farm. There are some farmers who feel that some of the resources that are expended into having this farm should actually be used to support current farmers that are active currently in the industry and need some additional support from the Ministry of Agriculture. What are your thoughts on this? And how successful do you anticipate that this farm is going to be, considering that in past administrations we've seen agricultural projects similar to this started and have since fizzled out, basically. So what's different about this project?
Okay, so I'll start from your last question and then go back to the first. The farm that you're talking about, I think, was the same farm that I was talking about with Tabasco. So this is a farm that's going to be designed with a direct off-taker in mind. And that trade, I think, will facilitate that farm's success and productivity. No. No, it was that farm. And so I think that is what he was referring to when he was talking about the development of the farm. Because again, we have to protect that Tabasco trademark within the framework. And again, that would also secure that the productivity of that farm, because there's a direct off-taker. This is not us looking for a market. It's a supplying into the market that exists. Now, going back to the sport facilities again. And I don't want to, and the questions are being asked, and I feel like, but I must go back and be clear. When we got in as a minister, I recognized the enormous task before me. Let's take our national cricket stadium, Warner Park. Deplorable condition. The second cricket stadium that we could call the second tier national, which is Connery, no restrooms. We got to work. Today, Connery has restrooms. National Park, our national Warner Park cricket stadium has received some upgrades, and we continue to work at it. The netball stadium was in horrible condition. Last year, we hosted the men's international, what was it? America's Male Championships. We got to work to prepare it, and we were hosting international events on it last year. We are here talking about Kim Collins, deplorable condition. Again, we got to work to the stage where it's almost complete. Basketball city, as we call it, National Basketball Center, deplorable condition. Every single national sporting facility was in a horrible condition. I have been in office now 2.5 years, and we are now working on basketball. We almost completed Kim Collins. We've worked on netball. We've worked on cricket. We did some work with football, but again, football needs an entire overhaul. And what we are doing now, we are in negotiations with the Football Association to see how together we can achieve that. Because remember too, there's a budget that I must stick within annually. And while I wish I had all the money to fix all the facilities, we have to create a staggered approach to fit within the budget. Because along with that, we still need water improvement, we still need electrical improvement, we still need to ensure that we have food on our tables. And they all come from the same budget. So my job is to do as much with the resources given, and every year, do a little more. All right? Thank you.
Sorry, I asked this question. Going back to Basketball City quickly, I know you had announced plans to do some work there, but what the stakeholders are saying is that since then, nothing much has happened, or nothing has happened. So what exactly are the plans for basketball?
I'll pass that over to the Permanent Secretary.
Okay.
That statement may be a bit inaccurate, that stakeholders. I am in constant, almost daily conversations with the president of SCABA. Daily. He's updated constantly on where we are at. Where we are at now, realize the court is taken up and the bleachers are taken up. I had a conversation just yesterday with Public Works to find out where we are at. The As you know, those of you who are doing the construction, you have to do the process, you have to do assessment, you create a BOQ, you go to tendering, all of that. The first stage was assessing what exactly needs to be done. We are going to resurface the court, extend the court, change the bleachers, because if we realize they're wooden and they're rotted, so we're going to change the bleachers, do some work on the bathroom, do some work on the dressing rooms, and do some work on the roofing. Public Works informed just yesterday, the bill of quantities is completed. So the next step now is to identify the contractor, and I do not have a set timeline. So if that is what you're asking, I cannot give you that, but just to let you know that the work, the major work, is going to begin shortly. As I said, Scarborough is aware of this. I have consulted to say that the stakeholders are in limbo. That statement is not accurate.
Okay. In terms of roofing, you mentioned roofing. Is it going to, because I know there have been a lot of talk about an indoor facility, but this is not necessarily the case.
When I talk about the roofing, as it is present.
Right, okay.
Yeah, the minister has his overall overarching plan for Basketball City, but we have to do something in the interim. So I'm talking about interim repairs.
So, Minister, in terms of the indoor facility, what are the plans where that, I know that's a long-term goal, but what are the plans where that is concerned?
No, I agree that it's a longer-term goal than the immediate renovations, but we having discussions, and those discussions are getting close to seeing some type of tangible outcome. And until then, I would prefer not to speak too deeply on it, just to say that we've always wanted an indoor facility, and I am doing everything in my power to ensure that we get that. And I believe we will in the near future.
Okay. I will come back to sports, but quickly. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Good morning. Just to add to what the Minister and the Permanent Secretary would have indicated pertaining to basketball, the Basketball Association currently uses some facilities around the island, in particular Sandy Point, Hardcourt, Dorset, to play the Junior League basketball competition. And out of every bad situation becomes good. And it probably might be an initiative that they can consider in terms of using the other community facilities in the interim to host the senior basketball championships. But we don't want to have all of these community facilities and they're not being used and used on a regular basis. So this could be a very good initiative for them as well.
Minister.
Excuse me, I have some questions.
Sorry. I didn't mean to take over the mic.
That's okay, thanks. All right, question. Has a fee structure been finalized for nationals and residents seeking licenses in the cannabis industry?
I want to thank you for that question, and I will divert that to the chair for the Cannabis Authority, who is here with us, Ms. Jeanne Williams.
Thank you very much, Minister, and to the person who posed the question. The fee structure was actually established in the 2020 Cannabis Act regulations, and it's there. I have been in discussions with the Attorney General's office to have this particular piece of legislation available online because it's not currently available. So the fee structure has always been a part of the legislation.
All right, thank you. Another one. Many creatives who registered last year have yet to receive their cards. What is causing the delay?
Again, thank you for that. And I would invite the Director for the Creative Economy to give an update on the creative catalog. Yes.
Thank you for that question. So what I would say is that all the mechanisms are in place in terms of the processing, in terms of the technology required to produce those cards. However, given the new development where the Department of Creative Economy has now joined with the Ministry of Small Business, Entrepreneurship and Cooperatives, we are actively looking in terms of integrating a mutual card per se for entrepreneurs and creatives. So that is something we are actively doing. Pardon? And cooperatives. So that is something that we are actively putting together in terms of the framework and how it will work, but in terms of the technology and the processes, they were already in place. It's just more so of an execution plan that will be done in the near future.
Thank you. And my last question. It's for the Ministry of Small Business. What efforts are being made to help local businesses expand into regional and international markets?
I want to thank you for that question. And again, I wish to divert that to the ministry. PS is here, the director is here.
Good morning. Thanks for that question. We are currently working, as you would have seen in the update video, we had some sessions with the UN Global Compact, and that is an initiative that is helping to identify strategies with the entrepreneurs and small business persons to get them ready to export those products in the regional market. Upcoming, we will be working closely with the Bureau of Standards. I think our next training session is slated for the 17th of this month, and it is in collaboration with the Bureau to identify and to work with the small businesses in terms of their standards and getting them export ready. We are also working with some international agencies for us to develop programs to help businesses from the idea straight to getting products into the regional markets.
All right, thank you. And with that, we are going to wrap up the question and answer segment of the press conference, and I now invite the Minister to give his closing remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for an excellent job. I think we all could say that it was well hosted, can we? Yes. All right. And we should give her a round of applause for her efforts. Yes. But as I close, allow me to say this. Everything that we have achieved in the first quarter of 2025, every policy, every partnership, every opportunity that we have unlocked has been rooted in one core belief. The belief that real progress begins at the foundation. You see, my ministries do not operate from the top down. We work from the ground up. We are here for the farmers, the fishers, the artists, the athletes, the small business owners, the dreamers in the villages, and the innovators within our communities. Because we believe it is at the grassroots level where the potential lives. It is at the grassroots level where resilience grows. And it's at the grassroots level where true transformation will actually begin. And so my commitment is unwavering. This is a commitment to lift St. Kitts and Nevis from the foundation upward. Lift it brick by brick, voice by voice, hand in hand. Lift it toward a future, one that is sustainable, equitable, and one that is filled with possibility. I also want to take this time out now to reflect a little bit on my recent trip to Nigeria. And with that, I want to thank Aquarian Consult, which was a powerhouse team that hosted us for the Afro-Caribbean Summit. That summit saw St. Kitts and Nevis, the smallest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Go into Nigeria, the nation with the largest economy and the largest population in Africa. And St. Kitts was able to bring out all the powerhouses in Nigeria. If we think about that for a minute, ideally, in the grand scheme of things, a nation as small as ours should be insignificant in a country as large as Nigeria. An Aquarian Consult, working along with the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, pulled off an extremely well-executed and powerful summit. And I must give them, I think we should all give them, a round of applause for their work. There's a lot of promise in the future. A lot of promise. And I think Aquarian Consult, along with what we've done and what has happened, must be stated, because His Majesty started alluding to it. This is awakening the energies of our ancestors. It is ensuring that the power of Africa can no longer sleep. And as we were saying there, it's about building that transatlantic bridge between Caribbean and Africa and people of African heritage. This is about recognizing that there is one Africa, and we are all a part of that one Africa. And I believe what we are laying today, these bricks, these seeds that we are planting, while I may not be able to sit under the shade of the tree that comes from it, I believe it will be a garden that my and your children and grandchildren will be happy that we have laid these seeds. And so thank you again to all in Nigeria. Thank you again to Aquarian Consult and everybody that worked to make this possible. But as I close, again I wish to say, progress will take time. It will take us working together, all of us. And it is only with your continued support that we collectively will not only imagine a better future, but that we will build it and build it together. And so I wish to thank all of you here, thank the press, thank my powerhouse team who have been driving progress in all the ministries that fall under my remit. And may God continue to bless the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you.
All right. As we close, department heads, the permanent secretaries, and the minister for taking their time out today to come before you to share their progress reports for the first quarter. I encourage you to stay informed and connected through the department's social media pages. This first quarter update reaffirms our commitment to transparency, progress, and impact as we work towards national development. Our next press conference will be held at the end of quarter 2, where we will continue to share updates and achievements. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to continued collaboration under the guiding principles of vision, action, results. I urge you to drive safely and exercise caution on the roads. You are needed at home. Thank you once again, and have a great day and an even greater weekend. Thanks.
Yes, so here we are in the country area in St. Kitts, and we are showcasing a T-25 drone that is here. This is showing us that we have cutting-edge technology here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this drone is here to do spraying of farms. As you can see here, we have a number of peppers here, and in the background we're looking at some banana trees. But the drone can be used to actually spray. What is one of the big advantages of having a drone like this? It means that the farmer doesn't have to have someone on the field, doing any spraying in a manual way. We can simply use a drone to go out there and spray. That will cut costs and increase a lot of production in farming here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So this is a cutting-edge piece of technology here. We're here boasting to showcase that, yes, we are doing it.
How you doing? I'm Clorth Wilson. I'm the Director of Technology for the Southern University Agricultural Research and Extension Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're here in St. Kitts. This is my first time here and it's amazing. We just saw a drone demonstration. What's crazy is that my first time seeing this drone was on YouTube. I had just spoken with some of my colleagues about it on last night actually, just talking about the potential of the drone being able to use soil mapping and using sensors to be able to get all kinds of data from the ground and using AI and analytics, how that could benefit the local economy and community. And also how in the education space, we offer a drone certification program to our students back at Southern University. And if they were able to get certified, then they could actually get these drones and be able to offer this type of service to local farmers. I look forward to the partnership with St. Kitts and Nevis. The MOU is amazing. And I look forward to everything that we have coming forward. Thank you so much.
Dr. Marlon Ford, here from Southern University. I am the Interim Vice Chancellor for Extension and Outreach, and this is a great opportunity for all of us. We came here for a training. I did a training yesterday with the Extension Department of the Ag Department here, and great workers, great things, and we see a lot of things we can do to collaborate and make this move forward. Introducing this type of precision ag technology is going to be a great advancement for St. Kitts as well as Nevis, as well as Southern University, and collaborating together to learn these different techniques and innovations. So we look forward to doing more and can't wait to get this started.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jana Snowden from the Southern University Agricultural Research and Extension Center. I serve as Executive Director of the Southern Institute for Medicinal Plants. I'm here in St. Kitts for my third time in some research efforts that we started back in 2023 as a result of an MOU that was signed between Southern University System and the St. Kitts government. And I will say that I'm so pleased to see the strides that have been made since the initiation and the signing of that MOU. I'm more on the cannabis science side, so I've been working with individuals such as Minister Duggins and Ms. Williams in creating a cannabis certification course for the island of St. Kitts. I'm looking for what's to come. I've seen great things thus far, and I know that with that we will do great work together. I'm very pleased with this partnership.
Hi, I'm Pat Bagley, Vice Chancellor of Research at Southern University in Baton Rouge. This is my second visit here to the island of St. Kitts and Nevis. Very exciting kind of stuff. A lot of progress has been made just in the last 6 months we've been here. A lot of discussion about how we can move forward in the future. Particularly my area of expertise tends to be in animal nutrition, producing fed livestock. We met with the poultry folks. We had helped them last year when we were here to find sources of vaccinated eggs, which is critical to it. Also looking at the swine operation. You think about a sow can raise up to 20 pigs, 25 pigs a year. They'll get a market weight of 270 pounds at only 6 months of age, so it's a great way to produce pork as a product. We're also looking at the beef cattle industry and looking at using some of the spent brewer's grains that are inherent here, and there's reasons to dispose of those things. They're great livestock feed. So again, it's just about different sets of eyes looking at different things and trying to help the island explore that. And of course, we're having a number of students from here that'll be at our university next fall. I think there's 19 that are scheduled to be there right now. We look forward to the continued cooperation between the university in St. Kitts and Nevis and all the great work that's going on down here. Thank you.
Hey, you sitting there flipping through the channels watching the same old stuff? Come on, man.
I know you got videos just sitting down on your hard drive. Why you don't just shut them off?
Whether it's a short film, music video, or even a... Today I want to look at a few things, but firstly, let me begin by congratulating the Charlestown Primary School on their impressive victory at the Bonnie Golf Insurance Limited Inter-Primary School Championship. held on Nevis on Wednesday at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. CPS, Charlestown Primary, won this championship for the 6th consecutive time, creating history, becoming the first school on the island to do so. And they have also been in the history books before, where they won 5 times consecutively on 3 separate occasions. And so kudos to the Charlestown Primary School, the athletes, the coaches, parents, the teachers, and the entire CPS family. Special shout out to the Ivor Walters Primary School, who I believe did or performed exceptionally well at the meet on Wednesday. The Ivor Walters Primary School once dominated the Inter-Primary Championship back in the early 90s or the mid-90s. The last time they won the Inter-Primary Championship was in 1996. And so to see them come from, winning in 1996 and about 30 years later, basically challenging Charlestown Primary for the top spot is amazing. It's important for me to note that they and the Charlestown Primary got the same amount of gold medals, but Charlestown came out on top because Charlestown got the most silver medals. And so kudos to the Ivor Walters Primary School on what I would call an impressive comeback.
So are any of those your alma mater?
The Charlestown Primary School. The Charlestown Primary School, and so I had that kind of bias. I was back in the Charlestown Primary School at the meet yesterday on Wednesday, and so kudos to them and a job well done. But to me, Charlestown Primary had nothing to prove. I mean, they have been dominating track and field in Nevis for the past 30 years, the 90s, the early 2000s, and even now, and so kudos to them on a job well done. But I think overall it was an impressive meet. It was very competitive, which is really good. And it shows that the future of track and field, the future of sports in the Federation looks bright. Because what you saw yesterday was sportsmanship. What you saw yesterday was parents and teachers, the coaches, all of them working together for the advancement of sports on the island. You're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devon Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program. I want to switch or shift into some government affairs or things of national importance coming out of the Prime Minister's round-table discussion also happening on Wednesday. And the Prime Minister spoke on crime and violence and the work of the government, the private sector, society, groups and organizations in addressing the issue of crime and violence. So Dr. Drew reiterated his long-standing commitment to addressing crime and violence from a public health perspective through unity and collaboration, emphasizing that only by coming together as a nation can St. Kitts and Nevis effectively overcome these challenges. The comments come on the heels of a historic milestone for the Federation, as St. Kitts and Nevis has not recorded a homicide so far this year, a significant achievement in the nation's ongoing efforts to combat crime and violence. And again, it's not a case where you're saying, don't talk too fast. For me, we had quite a number of murders, and again, we cannot forget those who lost their lives, and we cannot forget the family members who are still mourning at this time. But we came from a point where almost every other week or every month you heard of a homicide. And so for 6 months or for 5 months straight, it's really good. And I think people are truly enjoying the peace and the quiet, and this is how you would want things to be. And I think it is amazing, and the community as a whole ought to be proud of this achievement. He reaffirmed that the resolution to the nation's crime issues lies not in corrupt programs or divisive political tactics, but in a collective effort across all sectors of society. He criticized previous attempts and stressed the importance of moving away from partisan politics in the fight against crime. The Prime Minister acknowledged the crucial role played by all political parties, as well as the Christian community, the sporting community, youth groups, and the ministries across the Federation. He also praised the efforts of law enforcement and other security forces and the Elevate initiative, and thanked Dr. Isben Williams for leading the regional discussion on addressing crime and violence from a public health approach. Let's take this break, and when we come back, we will continue the conversation here on The Edge. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines and begin taking your calls at 662-8674. Stay with us.
St. Kitts and Nevis, get ready. The second edition of the Jesus in the City Parade and Festival is coming to Warner Park, Bastille on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. Join thousands of believers from across the Federation and the Caribbean as we unite in a powerful celebration of love for God and love for people through music, the arts, and the culture. The festivities kick off at 11 a.m. with the parade leaving Warner Park at 12 noon and moving along city streets, returning to the park for a grand concert celebration. Be a part of this unforgettable experience. Enter a float or group or become a sponsor. Visit jesusinthecity.com to get involved.
National Caribbean Insurance invites you to come on out to its WellCare Health Fair in the Independence Square on Friday, the 4th of April. Yes, it's this coming Friday. You can get your free health screening, your free insurance consultation, your free healthy food samples, free smoothie samples, compliments solo smoothies, plus lots of giveaways and prizes. Other participating vendors will have smoothies, parfaits, coconut, water, fruits, and vegetables on sale. We invite everyone to come on out and participate in this event in celebration of World Health Day on Monday, April 7th, under the theme, Healthy Beginnings, Hopeful Futures. Come out to the Independence Square and speak to health and nutrition experts who can assist you on your healthy journey, and our knowledgeable insurance sales consultants on the benefits of insurance. I will see you there.
Welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devon Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. Before we open the phone lines quickly, I wanted to share something with you, but again, the numbers are 662-8674. I wanted to share something with you that came out of the Prime Minister's Roundtable discussion on Wednesday, and this is as it relates to trade and balancing trade, the importance of U.S. imports, and the need for economic diversification. So, Prime Minister recently highlighted that imports from the United States amount to a staggering $754 million, and I believe this time frame is over 2 to 3 years, but I'll just confirm that, underscoring the deep economic ties between our nations, the United States of America and St. Kitts and Nevis. This significant trade figure positions our country as an important market for U.S. goods, providing leverage in diplomatic and economic discussions, as mentioned by the Prime Minister. It allows us to engage with the U.S. from a position of mutual benefit, emphasizing that our relationship is not one-sided. Just as we rely on their exports, they too rely on our market. However, while this level of trade reflects strong economic engagement, it also raises concerns about overdependence, one might argue. A reliance of this magnitude means that external shocks such as supply chain disruptions or policy changes could have serious consequences for our economy. To build resilience, we must take strategic steps to reduce dependency by, of course, strengthening our local industries, promoting self-sufficiency, and diversifying trade partners. Ultimately, our relationship with the U.S. is one of interdependence, not just dependency. By leveraging our position as a valued trade partner, while also working to reduce vulnerabilities, we can ensure a more balanced and sustainable economic future. So we're talking about the importance of the U.S. imports, but at the same time, the need for economic diversification. I believe the $754 million is too much. It is too much. It is a lot of money and this is in imports from the United States. And I think exports was just 23 million. And so when you do there is no comparison. There is no comparison whatsoever. Yes, it gives us leverage in diplomatic and economic discussions that we would want to have with the United States, but as mentioned, supply chain issues, policy changes. If there's a change in the system of operations there in the U.S., what does this mean for St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean? Because I believe the figures for other Caribbean nations are also within that region. And so, on one hand, you can argue that the United States somewhat needs the Caribbean from a market standpoint in terms of the benefits financially. But is this something that is really good, that we depend so heavily on the United States for a number of the things that we use throughout our daily lives? Of course, we can't produce everything. We cannot produce everything, but $754 million, and this is over a lengthy time frame, I believe, but $754 million is concerning. It is very, 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 very concerning, and we have to do what is necessary to reduce that significantly. And we're not even talking about food import bill. This is just goods, not really talking about specifically the food import bill. This is absolutely alarming. The phone lines are open and we take your calls at 662-8674. That is 662-8674. Call us and lend your voice to the conversation at hand. Your thoughts on this staggering number as it relates to imports. We have our first call for this morning. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Good morning. How are you today?
Oh, I'm not doing so bad for my age and enjoying my retirement. And I'm praying that you will get here soon.
Thank you.
What you want us to discuss on, because I want to touch on something else that me and you have been debating.
Okay, well, what I was talking about today was the figure mentioned by the Prime Minister yesterday, $754 million in imports from the United States. The fact that that is a staggering number, and it is alarming in the sense that you could tell that we are dependent on each other, St. Kitts and Nevis and the United States of America, and of course the Caribbean region. But you said there's something that we were talking about?
Okay, let me talk about this here first. As I told you the other day, about a week and days ago, America has been holding and is holding the Caribbean countries as hostages to bargain with and bargain for. And you see it come out now. Now here is it. Over the years and all these talk shows, we have been telling the government, hear what I said, the government, to broaden out the trade policy to other nations around the world. Just don't depend on America, England, and Canada, because at one time that's all we was doing. You know?
Well, let me show you something.
Canada, America. Right? And we keep telling them all the time there are other nations around the world that need our friendship and services and our partnership in what we have to offer and they have to offer too. But they wasn't listening. And now the rope is tightened around the neck to hang them now. You see where we go now. You see we reach out to Africa. I made suggestions and talk show. I say reach out beyond China and Japan. Go further down in what do they call them? What the AOE, what they call them? The nations down there.
the UAE.
Yes, reach out to all them there. Go beyond Brazil. Go beyond go beyond Israel and those places. So you have choices, and you will get the needs and the supply. Yes, they will be coming from far. They will take a little more time, but at least you have other people you can depend on, and other people can depend on you. But they wasn't listening.
But listen to this though. I am of the view, right, that some of our people are not entirely sure as to what they want, and I say that because, on one hand, we're saying that we are too reliant and too dependent on the US or Canada or whatever. But we recently went to Africa, we went to Nigeria, which is an economic powerhouse in Africa. And we even signed an MOU. We had conversations as it relates to educational opportunities, the creative industry, and the list goes on and on. And the very same people are saying, what they gone Africa go do, all them gone and joyride. So it for me, it begs the question, do we really want a partnership with those countries, or we just say it because it sounds good?
Well, I'm going to tell you why it is. Right? I am not a supporter of the government. And I'm going to tell you, I am a PAM supporter. I'm going to tell you, it's politics. It's directly just that, politics. But here's the thing, also too, why people are so concerned and worried is because under this government and other governments, we see large entourage travel off overseas, and they say they're going and work or policies for the federation. And we wait in years and government change, and we don't see nothing out of those, so our money waste. So that's also the concern of a lot of people too, whether you're for the government or you're against the government.
Right. I understand your point.
And what is happening is that people are saying 2.5 years, and the government every week they travel with this large entourage, and we ain't seeing nothing out the deal. Right? Whether they get invited or we use our tax dollars, the people are saying we are not seeing the benefits of those traveling with those large entourage. We ain't seeing no economical benefit. So that's a concern of the people too. The government, they need to come up with something where we could say, they come and they build a factory and they hire 5,000 people. They come and they put down 40 houses, they hire 300 people. You know, things like that we want to see. Right, so we could say, well, boy, we tax dollars is paying off now because look how the country benefiting. Look how food going and people take. This is what we want for. When we see that happening, we won't even worry when they travel because we're going to say, okay, in a year and a half, we're going to see something and we're going to get back some reward. We're going to benefit out of it. But that is not happening, so that is one of the major concerns of the general public. And two, what we discussing. You remember some weeks ago I keep calling you and I keep calling GQ every morning. Right here in Shadwell, so by the double road. To go Monkey Hill. We have the main drain here on the double road. It runs on top and then it goes down into what we call a high ground, into some big pipes and go underground. The recent some months ago, bringing a lot of dirt and stuff and so, and some of the people building houses up the road to the concrete water and so. When the wash them come down and block up the underground pipes them. And for weeks now I'm calling, I'm asking them to come and clear it. The water now running across the road, running down the road when it's supposed to be running underground, passing touches going on the road. And it's nasty, and businesses are right in front here. Right? And all we ask them to do is come with a little bobcat, take the small bucket, lift up this slab, and put this small bucket in the hole and scoop it out and get the fire truck or water truck, wash down the rest of the stuff and the drain with flow. Up here is very, very nasty, and it stinks. And I've been calling and asking them to come and do it. I tell them about the one in Canary, they rush west do it, but it takes a little time. Right? And the main road there in Canary, they did that. Are you pleased to come to Shadwell by the double road to please to clear this up here? Because it's disturbing people in the residence, disturbing businesses.
All right. Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution. We have some more callers on the line. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Oh, Cornelius. Cornelius?
Yes, I'm listening. Go ahead.
When I call you, if I say something and you don't understand me, I just repeat to you, right? You know that?
Yes.
Okay. A lady meet me on Friday and telling me you don't know that you're not hearing. I mean, I am not talking for you to hear. She and others know what's going on. If they know anything, call and say and don't study me. I am not a dunce. And you're the only one my mother have. I have 3 grandchildren. They have 11 subjects, and they could help me. Thank you for coming back. I could get back. Our time short.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. It's 11:40, and we're taking your calls here on The Edge for Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. It's 11:40. Call us at 662-8674. That is 662-8674. For those of you who are just joining the conversation, I made mention of the Prime Minister speaking on the issue of crime and violence and the fact that St. Kitts and Nevis has not recorded a homicide for the past 5 or 6 months, I believe. Also speaking on, congratulating the Charleston Primary School on their impressive victory at the Mini Olympics. We call it the Mini Olympics there in Nevis on Wednesday. And the import bill, or the import bill, which is $754 million imports specifically from the United States of America. And I was making the point that I agree in the sense of, I agree that having this over-reliance or heavy dependency on the United States is not good, because it is almost like having all of your eggs in one basket. And if that basket drops, then you have no eggs to make any omelette. And so I support the calls from ordinary citizens and residents who say we need to explore different partnerships with other countries across the globe. The world is not just the United States. There are other countries that you can, forge relationships with. But then I'm still hearing from some of the very same people that we had no business in Africa. Mind you, not everybody. And so it begs the question of exactly what are we looking for. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Me again, Mr. Cornelius. The round table is nothing new. Everything is Timothy and his brother. He is a labor like them, and he has done well. Not like 10 men in one. Let them talk about him. He bad since he born. All that over the country since he come.
I'm sorry, caller? Hello?
Listening.
Do you have something that you want to contribute specifically towards the topic?
If I have something wrong?
That you would like to contribute specifically towards the topic?
Well, I'm contributing it.
Yeah, but towards the topic, what is your take on the import bill being 754?
I was not listening because he was just taken up with him.
No. I just made mention of it. Of the 700
because I had to try to get in. You know, when you try to get in, you have to turn down your radio.
So you weren't listening from before then?
No.
Okay, but I'm asking.
What he was saying interests me.
Right, but I'm asking you.
Coming back with nothing good.
Right, caller. But I'm asking you, no, right?
Come off, tell me.
No. I'm trying to engage with you. Trying to have a conversation with you. So I'm saying the import bill. The Prime Minister mentioned that it's $754 million, where we import things from the U.S. So I was asking, what is your take on that?
I can't read, so I don't know what name, so.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your contribution to the program. Let's head back to the phone lines. We'll take this call. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Oh, Devon. Good morning, brother. Good morning.
Yes. How are you doing today?
Oh, that's about it. Just come from the animals then.
All right.
Now, since I'm on the radio, I just want to thank God for life. Thank God for the rain. Give me strength and health and guidance and protection to go out there to do what I got to do. And nobody distract me from doing what I'm doing. Now, Devon, we used to have a sugar industry. We had coconut in abundance. We had sweet orange. We had farmers, we had bananas and all those things. We have mango, mango still. And all those things just don't look like that. But Devon, I think that's how we see the world going. We wasn't supposed to depend on America and nobody. I believe St. Kitts was in a position, especially when the sugar industry was, the sugar land was here, for we to send our people there in the land and work them land, plant food, plant plenty food. And we ship out food to other countries. Everything America. And it is America going to fall, I think they're going to fall. We got other countries we could got ties with. We got Taiwan, China. We got Canada. And we got other countries. We got the African countries and different other countries. You got Europe and all those things. We could ties with. As far as I can show America, just want to use us for their own convenience. They have nothing to use with a small country down here. And what I find with these leaders, that's why they attack America. Well, I see something on YouTube, I don't hate on the news. With this guy, African leader. Right? I forget the name, but I forget the country name now too. I don't know if you see it.
No, but go ahead.
Yeah. And he's standing up for people them. And he said, go fight for people them and do what he got to do to help the people them. And it looks like he get more help from the Arabs country. And we got to get out of this American nice thing, everything America. America not, can't you America no God? America not the wall. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these leaders swear to attack the leaders of America when they do the wrong things. They swear to square out against they doing the wrong thing.
I mean, I totally understand the point that you're making, but for me, it's not. We shouldn't just be in the business of getting up and attacking countries, because remember, we still have relationships with these countries, and in some cases, they need us and we need them, and there are partnerships that we have with certain institutions within these countries. So I wouldn't say attack them, but speak firmly, whether for or against a particular matter that affects the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Because you still have to remember to be diplomatic.
I think that Costa Rica, a former prime minister, I think from Costa Rica, former leader of Costa Rica. Because he criticized Donald Trump and his leadership. The people he built free status from him. A former leader, I think from Costa Rica, I get on the news. And all these things going on, man, we got to stand up, and listen, we work more independent after we close the sugar industry and farm our land and make our people independent and stop depending on so much of tourists. I mean, I say that tourists must come because they want a different part of the world, right? But I believe that if we just make our sugar industry, when we close the sugar industry, make it a real farming project all around the country, instead of building these huge houses and selling out all and to our foreign investors. I believe the country will do plenty much better than how we're doing right now.
All right.
Because the passport thing, we'll come in with that, and then the country will stable, economically stable. All right then.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. It's 11:48. We have some more callers. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Brother Devon. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you so much. And you?
I'm doing wonderful. After hearing that CPS have won, oh my God, congratulations. My alma mater, well, in my time, it was Charleston Girls School. But, congratulations and wonderful news to hear about the Ivor Walters too.
Yes.
Yeah, and all, I must continue to encourage all of them, they're winners in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to say, concerning I didn't hear the conference from the Prime Minister, but, let them, those in authority, let them do what they have to do. But whatever, you cannot please everybody. You do this, they're going to say do that, and they do that, they're going to say, oh, you should do that, and when you do it, it's something else.
That's true.
So those in authority, just let them do what they have to do. We have to try it. If it doesn't work out, well, we try something else. And you feel so good to hear that the crime rate is down.
Yes.
Let us just love one another, man. Let us love one another. Christ demonstrated that. Love. Let us continue to love one another and done with the ladder, isn't it? God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
You too, and thank you so much for your contribution to the program. It's 11:49, and we are taking your calls. A caller, you're on the air. Okay, we lost that one. 662-8674. Just about 10 minutes left before we wrap up the conversation here on The Edge. We have a caller. Good morning. You are on the air. Good morning. Hello, caller. You're on the... Yes, good morning.
I think Mr. Politics is to some extent correct. But I think that back on the other side, I think that we have dropped the ball. We have Bayford. We have a lot of land. And Bayford used to produce milk that could have been developed. The sugar factory, sugar didn't have to go like that. We could have produced enough for domestic consumption. Outside of that, if they didn't want that, the other produce was corn. We had the mills going. But because of the lack of foresight, that also didn't take into consideration. We could have planted corn. We could use those same mills to grind the corn. Question is, how much of it would have been able to export? I do not know. But at least we would have had more than enough for personal use. Yes. And other things we can look into. Irish potato, right down in St. Paul's area, Newton Ground area. They call it the sugar belt. Pine used to be planted here. Irish potato used to be planted here. Peas used to be planted here. Many things that we imported from the United States that we're using today, we could have had them growing locally. But I do not know what went wrong. We dropped the ball. But it can be done. It's not too late. We could pick up again and get these things. It is in fact, yes, I heard you. And you talk about that 600 and something billion dollars. It could have been reduced at least to bust it in half. But again, let me say, we dropped the ball. Number two, as you asked the question yesterday, as regards to crime, violence, accident, and so on. And I told you that I sum it up in two words. Two words. The people have lost consciousness of, the young people have lost consciousness of themselves. Mentally off track by drugs. Why drugs? And to me, it's being supported. And that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. I try to analyze it as much as I can, and I could have only come up with two words. Mentally outside the door. And that has to be looked into.
Yes.
Should be looked into.
All right. Thank you.
No more brown should be sold in the supermarket or the small shops. And no more rappers. They should be banned. These are encouraging the young people to do these things. And if they start doing that, we should have some kind of positive result as regards to reducing.
Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. It's 11:50. Let's set this final call for the morning. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Devon.
Yes.
Yeah, first on the crime issue, it is really heartwarming to see we're at this stage now. And let's hope we stay here and we don't go back to the levels it was before. Okay, I know some people like to say it's a cyclical thing. It ebbs and flows and so on, but let's hope whatever it took to get us to here, let's hope we redouble the efforts and we'll be okay. If you notice that really and truly, the methods that we've been using have not really changed over the years, okay? It's just that we had to apply them consistently and keep plugging at it. When we said all of society approach, we had to implement all of society, not some, right? And all the measures that were taken, not necessarily new, but we just had to keep at it. And really and truly, it was for the people, the perpetrators of these things, who eventually realized that this was a dead end. Okay, and so we must encourage them to keep it that way. And you notice too that when the detection rate by the police went up, that had an enormous effect on quelling crime. And another thing, which I think was a turning point, was when that kid was shot in the Newton ground, whether there's collateral damage or however it happened. Okay, that I think galvanized everybody in the society to say enough is enough, and we have to do whatever we could to stop this. So let's hope that stays that way. Okay, the next, so all of us, everybody, the whole of society, the government, the police, church, organizations, all of us have to claim credit for this. Doesn't belong to any one particular group. Regards the exports to the U.S., I think that gap, the trade gap, would have been much lower had we been able to keep a lot of those factories that we had on the industrial estate. Okay? Might not have gone down, it might not have been gone down by, let's say, a huge amount, but definitely a significant amount. And the mere fact that we're here, it would be nice to know the breakdown. How much of that is food? How much of that is things like building materials and, hardware and those kinds of stuff? Because there are some things that we absolutely have to have from abroad, okay? And the trick, I think, is to diversify our sources, right? Because a lot of this stuff are available in other places as well. And as a matter of fact, a lot of this stuff that we probably buy from the U.S. were actually transshipped, right? They're actually made somewhere else, and you know how the middleman thing goes, the re-export and so on. So there are things we can do to reduce that gap. And in a sense, we may have to, because if you notice, all countries now are saying, well, boy, we got to look for your own interests. We can't rely on the United States anymore. The United States is looking inwards, and they couldn't care less about even the allies from the past, what happened to them. And so, in a sense, we have to do the same, okay? And that's just the new world that we're living in, okay? And we have to adapt. All right, then.
All right, Colin, thank you so much for your contribution to the program. It's 11:58, and I'll begin wrapping up the conversation by saying thank you so much for contributing to the discussion for today. As we looked at things happening across the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, I agree with you, Carla, when you stated that this achievement as it relates to the no murders for the past 6 months, no one group should claim responsibility. It is as a result of the work that we all put in, the government, the police, the community, the church. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've been listening to The Edge for Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive, and take it easy on the road. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. God spare my life and yours. Goodbye.
National Caribbean Insurance invites you to come on out to its WellCare Health Fair in the Independence Square on Friday, the 4th of April. Yes, it's this coming Friday. You can get your free health screening, your free insurance consultation, your free healthy food samples, free smoothie samples, compliments solo smoothies, plus lots of giveaways and prizes. Other participating vendors will have smoothies, parfaits, coconut, water, fruits, and vegetables on sale. We invite everyone to come on out and participate in this event in celebration of World Health Day on Monday, April 7th, under the theme, Healthy Beginnings, Hopeful Futures. Come out to the Independence Square and speak to health and nutrition experts who can assist you on your healthy journey, and our knowledgeable insurance sales consultant on the benefits of insurance. I will see you there.
In tune with ZIZ Radio, broadcasting from its studios at Springfield in Bastia, St. Kitts, West Indies. The major news